welcome to the Weekly Review with Sean Serak. I am Sean Keenan Torres Sr. And of course, I am joined along with.
And it's your boy Serak the Mike. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I see we got a special guest here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce him to everybody?
Yeah. So today I got a good friend of mine, special guest, workout partner, buddy. I mean, well, we work out at the same place, so I guess that's considered a workout partner. But my guy, Devin Paladino. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, no problem, man. Devin has a very, very interesting story that kind of caught my eye when actually from the gym when we were working out. You're kind of telling me about your history, and is also a published author. God damn, my man's a published author, right? Damn.
Congratulations.
I can't even write like a love letter, let alone a book. So Devin, obviously
with all those popped up on Amazon, everyone act like it's such an easy thing, but we all know it's not. So
yes,
go ahead and give us some
very true.
It takes work.
Go ahead and give us some thoughts on how that all went together for you.
So basically, I always have people say, you should write a book on your life. You should do it,
Mm-hmm.
And, the whole coronavirus pandemic happened. And I'm like, okay, so I'm here in Florida by myself because I'm from Illinois. And I'm like, okay, I'm here in Florida by myself. Everybody then went home because of the pandemic and the semester's already over.
Right.
And so it's just the summertime and, everything's closed, can't do nothing. So I'm like, all right, why don't I use this time to write a book? And I've always said I want to do it. And if you don't know, when people say they're going to do something, they always linger on it. And lingers. And then 10 years from now, you're saying, I still want to write a book. So I'm like, I might as well just do it now while we're in the middle of the pandemic. You can't do nothing. Let's just get it done now. So I literally just sat at a desk the whole summer and would just write for hours, go to work, go to the gym, come back and write for hours. And that's what I did the whole summer. And I wrote 330 pages, 176,000 words, and I finished it. Watched a whole lot of YouTube to figure out what I'm doing because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I hear you.
How do you get this book on Amazon?
YouTube University. Yeah.
YouTube. I swear, anytime I need to figure out anything out, I go straight to YouTube because YouTube is just everything's there. So I went there, and then I started learning the steps. Taking notes, figuring out how I'm supposed to do it, and then it all just came together. Made sure my bread was right to be able to, pay an editor, pay for a formatter, pay for graphic design, the photo shoot, and all that, and put it all together. And took me, so I finished writing the book in August.
Okay.
And it took me a while because I couldn't really find an editor, and I had no idea where to go. Like, where do you find a book editor at? And then I'm looking at some of these places, and they asked, like, somebody wanted $4,000.
I'm like, damn,
that's a house payment. That's a new car. So I'm like,
that's more than my house payment.
I ain't paying $4,000 to read over my book. So so one of my friends who wrote a book, she referred me to this app called Fiverr, and I went on there. And there's a whole bunch of freelance editors. But I'm kind of pissed off because I went on there and I paid this lady almost $1,000 to edit my book.
Oh, damn.
And I get the book back and people are telling me there's spelling errors in it. There's misspelled words. I'm like,
man.
Kidding me. I'm like, what the hell?
Can you get your money back from that or no?
No, the app is sneaky because once they finish writing your book, you can't keep in contact with them. Because I had told her, I was like, I'm like, what the hell? I asked her, I said, hey, can we keep in touch for when I write my second book? She's like, well, and the app, we're not supposed to keep in touch. And she was some lady from England.
I'm like, well, you spelled everything wrong.
Like, I was mad about it because I'm like, she finished editing it, and then I get the book back and I'm reading through it a little bit, and I don't see no errors because everything, usually when you see an error, it's gonna show up red or blue.
Is it weird to read your own writing?
It's funny because I've never reread the book.
Oh shit! Well, because you know what happened.
Yeah, I already know what happened, so I ain't gotta reread it. And I'm the one who wrote the damn thing.
Oh yeah.
So I was so pissed because people were telling me like there's a couple spelling errors in it and this that. Because the first day I published the book, it sold 30 copies on the first day.
Oh shit! Did you do a lot? Did you do a lot of like marketing or anything like that, or was it just kind of like a word of mouth?
What I did was I went and did a photo shoot, and I had never done a photo shoot.
Hold on, I gotta write this down. Write book, then do photo shoot.
Yeah, I didn't. So I didn't go to prom. My ex-girlfriend broke up with me the day, like a week before prom. So I didn't go to prom.
Oh,
so
man.
And I never wore a suit before or nothing like that. So, you know, I'm like, I go to Men's Warehouse. I don't know what size I am. I don't know nothing. I just see this cool blue suit on Google. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, you bring up a picture like, make me look like this.
Yeah, can I look like this? And then they get me the suit right. They fit me and all that. And, you know, get ready. And then I'm looking for, because, you know, I just moved to Tampa. Now it's been a year. Mm-hmm. And so when I was doing it, it was only like, I've been here for like 6 months. And then, you know, I'm asking, you know, where can I get a photo shoot at? Looking up on Google, calling all these different places.
Were they asking you like, oh, are you in a wedding or is this a special occasion or funeral? Like, nah, I wrote a book. They're like, oh.
You know, everybody does that. Anytime I say I wrote a book, they all look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you wrote a book? You wrote a book?
I mean,
how old are you?
I mean, I just saying you are kind of, you know, of the lighter shade, you know. I'm just saying.
So like, you know,
just one second before we take it one step further, give me permission to record there.
Oh yeah, I got you. Sorry, that's the only thing about Zoom. Like, you got to give like permissions for a lot of stuff. As if like,
oh really?
Yeah, it's like I got children. I think I got it right. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, it should be working. So like, you know, obviously it's hard enough to write a book. It's hard enough to even get through a, you know, from beginning to end. You know, it's probably a little easier when it's about your life. So yeah, you know, it's relatable, obviously. So like let's go into detail a little bit. So what, not necessarily what is it about, but how was your upbringing and how does that relate to the story as well?
Man, my upbringing was crazy as hell.
Okay. Start from when you can remember, I guess.
So what I can remember is I was this is what I remember. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm growing up, you know, I'm with my dad and I have an older sister. We same mom, same dad.
This is Chicago, right?
This is Rockford. So
Rockford,
it's about
Illinois.
hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm growing up and everything. And so I just remember being a little kid and going to my mom's house, going to my dad's house, going back and forth.
Right.
And my mom and dad always fighting and arguing. And I remember when I was a little kid, I saw my dad like beat up my mom.
Right.
And so, you know, that happened. And I remember like ever since I was about 6 years old, I would always be interviewed by DCFS. They would always come to my. They would always
explain to the listeners, because some people don't know what that is. But what is
DCFS? Is Department of Children and Family Services. So it's basically they come in if there's like abuse going on or whatever.
Right.
And I had been placed in that when I was 2 years old because my dad broke my mom's hip.
Oh shit!
I was placed in that because my dad got arrested and my mom, something happened with her, and I got placed into foster care. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what happened after that, but obviously they ended up getting me back. And like, I just remember all the time being like a little kid in kindergarten, and a DCFS worker would always come and ask me questions, like take questions on it. How is your dad? How is your mom? All this.
Do you know, are you like aware of why they're there and what's going on? Or it's just
I wasn't aware because what my dad would do is he would sit down with me and my older sister, and he'd tell us what to say, like say this about your mom. If you don't say this, we can't go to Disney World. We can't go to.
So you already. So he was giving you like a script
so he was
already.
Giving me the whole spiel, the script of what to say. And, you know, I don't know what the hell's going on, so I'm saying it. And then I remember coming out. I remember like being a 6-year-old kid playing in this little area in the courtroom, and my mom coming out, and she just crying her eyes out. You know, gives me and my older sister a hug. And then she leaves. And then we didn't go over to her house no more. We didn't see her no more. And that was it. And, you know, then there was one other time when I was 7 years old. I was playing outside with my older friend. And she comes driving all along the side.
Because you were staying with your dad.
Yeah, I was staying with my dad. And then she comes driving along the side of the house. And then and then I see her and I'm waving hi to her and stuff. And then I was all excited because I'm like, I just saw my mom. I hadn't seen her in forever. Yeah. And I go run inside and I tell my stepmom. And then she calls the police instantly. And then my real mom gets out the car and is ready to fight my stepmom. And then, you know, the police come and she leaves. And I guess she lost complete custody of us. She's not supposed to be around us.
Man.
And after that day, I didn't see her no more. Like I didn't.
And you haven't seen her since?
I haven't seen her, but I've talked to her on the phone. But but when that happened, I didn't see her or talk to her for like 7, 8, 9, about 6 years, 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
it must have been rough, man. Like that has to be like,
yeah, because I was like, I didn't know like what happened. Like anytime and then my dad was very abusive, so he beat the shit out of me, my sisters, my stepmom.
What were some of the stories that were given to you? What were some of the stories that?
So basically, like the stories that were given to me was like my mom is a psychopath, and she. So my mom is actually from Africa.
Oh shit, where?
She's from Chad, Africa, and my dad and her met because my dad was in the Marines, and those two met over there.
Okay.
And she's actually black. She's your color, and a lot of people are like they always ask me what my ethnicity is.
Yeah.
Some people think I'm Hispanic. Some people think I'm black. I
didn't want to ask.
Oh, you just look high yellow. You just look high yellow, man. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. So like they would be saying like she's crazy and all this stuff, and we weren't allowed to talk about it because we would get beat. Like my dad was the type of person where if you did not do what he said, you didn't do what he liked to do. Mm-hmm. If you didn't do anything to the books, you would get hit. And so we just grew up like, well, what the hell happened to our mom? Like I remember I saw her and I don't see her no more, and then that was it. And all I knew was that she was some crazy psychopath lady and all this and that.
Did you because I mean I have step parents and I love them to death, but was there ever like any resentment towards like your stepmother just because like once like your mom's there and then she's gone? And when you're a kid, man, it's like you don't, like you said, you don't really know what's going on, No. But like as you get older, you can kind of look back and like, oh,
you start to figure stuff out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, like the thing, I hated my dad and I did not like my stepmom because what would happen is my dad would beat the crap out of me, like me, my sisters, and like
random kids in the street.
My stepmom would be,
that was most black families growing up.
Very true.
But my stepmom would be the antagonizer. So every time my dad would get home, she would tell him every little thing I did wrong. And he would come, like, I'd be sleeping in the middle of the night, throw me out my bed and just start beating me. But I remember one time he took a wooden spoon to start, metal spoon to start beating me with it. And, like, it was kind of like, it pissed me off because here I have a dad that's beating me for everything I'm doing. Then I have a stepmom who's antagonizing it, telling him everything that I'm doing wrong every single night he gets home. And I'm getting beat off of that. So I didn't like either of them. And, that's why when I was a little kid, I always was outside, outside, never
avoiding. Never want to go inside. Avoid it.
No, because like when I was inside, like my dad would take naps. If you woke him up out of his nap, you get beat. If you didn't do exactly what he said, all this stuff. Like, and I'm talking when I got beat, this man picked me up by my feet and slammed me on my chin and broke my chin when I was 10 years old. And I had a concussion. I couldn't talk for like weeks.
And did you? So like with the child protective services, they didn't like after your mom left, they didn't like revisit you to see if everything's okay. No,
he had full custody. And
so it doesn't matter.
As a kid, we don't know what to do. Like we're getting beat and
you don't know what abuse is. You just think you did something wrong.
You don't know. We think that's normal. And I started the first time I actually realized that stuff was not normal was when I was in 6th grade and I had health class and they started talking about child abuse and stuff like that. And I remember I had asked, I didn't ask the teacher, I asked a friend. And I was like, so if your dad like punches you and kicks you and throw you across the room and stuff, like that's not normal whoopings? And they're like, hell no. And I'm thinking like,
wait, y'all don't get beat?
Because I'm just a delusional kid. Like I'm thinking this is normal. Like this always happens. And I remember one time I was in 5th grade and I was so scared. No, 4th grade. And I wasn't good with math. I'm not good with math. And I was so scared that entire year. I had my friend do my homework on the bus every day. We rode the same bus and we'd be on the bus for like 30 minutes. And I always had him do all my homework for me because he knew math. And then what I would do is I would rewrite over what he wrote in my handwriting. So it looked like I did it. And one day they ended up figuring out because when you take a test, it looks like
he can't do exactly.
Yeah, he can't do the test for you. So I remember I came back from a test and my dad like saw the report card and I got the shit beat out of me. And then he found out that I was having somebody do my homework for me.
Man.
And,
Is it? Do you think like a part of it is because you know, like you said, your dad was in the military, and Sean, you're a veteran, so like, does that, you know, because I know there's always that discipline factor as far as like, you know, the armed forces. Do you think like that has anything to do with like just the strictness, and or do you think it's just something totally different?
No. I told you before, my kids, literally on one hand, I can tell you how many times I've whooped my kids my entire life.
Okay.
So, no, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, see that they try to pull that.
Granted, my grandfather, you know, and my grandfather, he was Army as well, and yeah, for my uncles and aunts, he was a little heavy-handed, and I got beat with a tree trunk one time. But outside of compared to him and what my at the time step parent did, yeah, night and day. Like he was a whooping, and the other guy step parent was a beating. So
yeah,
I feel you.
Beating sounds so much more worse than a whooping.
So it
is, bro.
It's. I mean, you have the difference between a witch and a tree trunk. I mean, you need a switch any day.
Switch. That's why I don't live near trees, you know.
Yeah. Give me a switch. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd rather take a switch than a tree trunk any day. But yeah, but the Army has nothing. That's just who you are.
Okay.
And it's either there or it's not. Doesn't matter. The Army's not going to do it to you.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you guys cleared that up.
But yeah, after all that, like the beatings and all that for years. So my stepmom, she eventually got tired of it, and you know, she left, and they had 2 kids together, and she took the 2 kids and left because he was beating her up.
You have stepbrothers and stepsisters.
Just I have.
Or those were her kids beforehand.
No, they had 2 kids together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was me and my older sister, and then he met her, and then they had 2 kids together.
But was he abusing everyone, all 4 of you guys?
Yeah, everybody in the house. But of course, I got it worse. And you know, she ended up like it was 2013. I remember, 2013. In the summertime, she just left. She was tired of it, and she left one day because he had promised to never do it again. And then he took her into the kitchen and was beating her and, you know, screaming and all that. And
so when you're you know, viewing all this abuse, like not when it's not towards you, when it's like towards your stepmom or maybe a sibling, like, do you feel helpless, or is it just like, you know,
no,
that's just like the normal thing?
It's scary. Like in the moment you like, your adrenaline's racing and your heart's racing. And it's like, you don't know what to do. Like you just like, you're kind of in shock. It's like you're in shock watching somebody get beat. And it's like, and as a kid, you don't know what to do. You just stand there. But like, of course, when you get older, you know, you break that stuff up or, you know, do what you got to do. And, you know, as a kid, all I would do is I remember I would be stuck there. But then one day I had ran out the house and I ran to the neighbor's house to get help. And I had no socks because what happened was because I had got beat before, and when I was 10 years old, I ran away because my dad beat me, and in the middle of him beating me, I escaped outside and I ran, and I ran for miles and miles. I didn't have no shoes on, no socks on, my feet were all bloody, all that, and this man was chasing me for all across the city, and this lady ended up finding me because my shirt was ripped. And he ripped my shirt.
Like, who's this 10-year-old kid running with half a shirt on?
Yeah, 10-year-old kid with no shoes, no socks on, and a ripped shirt just walking down the busy street. And then she had pulled over and she had asked what happened and stuff. And I told her like what had happened. And you know, the police didn't do nothing and they ended up taking me back home and stuff. But
isn't that crazy? Like,
bro. That's what made me so mad. And that's why, like, I tell you, like, I couldn't wait to be grown. Because I hated my childhood. I hated being a kid because not only did that stuff happen. Okay, let me continue my story. So after that happened, you know, after my stepmom left and she took the kids and left, like a few months later, he ended up driving up there and stabbing her.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he couldn't take her leaving him and him not being able to see the 2 kids. So he drove up there and he stabbed her about 5 times. And he ended up going to prison for attempted murder. He's been in prison since I was 13. And
how long is he still in now?
Yeah, he's still in there now.
How long is his sentence?
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be till like I checked it like maybe like a year ago. I don't think he's gonna be in there until like 2025, 2028.
Shit, that's around the corner. You know, I'm pretty sure they send you like a letter saying, yo, your dad is out, just to give you a heads up. You should get the hell out of Dodge or something.
Well, he's in Illinois. I'm in Florida, so I'm good. I mean,
I don't know, man, because
he
drove. You said he drove up just to stab somebody. So I mean,
he an old ass man. He gonna be like 50 something.
I know. Get off me, Pop.
Yeah, and it made, but like what happened was like, so he ended up stabbing her. And, she almost died, and she recovered and all that. And he went to prison, and he's been in prison since I was 13. And then my mom, and then my stepmom, she didn't want nothing to do with us no more, obviously, because. Because
she was,
that was actually my next question. If you have a relationship with her now?
No,
not at all.
I haven't talked to her since 2014. Like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, like from what you tell us, she was,
what about your
antagonizing?
Though?
Yeah,
I mean, what about your siblings from her? Though?
So my siblings, I haven't talked to the two little girls. I ain't talked to them since 2014 either. Same. Like, she basically just took her stuff and left. Like. F you guys.
And what about your older sister?
So my older sister, we don't talk.
Damn, man. So you by yourself.
That's how it is, bro. Yeah. I ain't tripping. Yeah, I'm
no, that's good, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, we got separated at a young age.
Right.
So like after I was saying, like after she got stabbed and all that, and my dad went to prison, me and my older sister was still together. But we got sent to live with my aunt and uncle. And then my aunt and uncle.
Now, when you say you got sent to live with them, like, was that?
So we had. So actually, that's when we got placed in the foster care system. So after my dad had went to prison, which was 13, that next week, we had my aunt and uncle obviously stepped up to take us in, and then that's when we started having foster care agents. Like, we would have all these people come and interview us, like talk to us and. Come see us all the time.
What were some of the questions they'd ask? Do you remember any of the questions they'd ask you?
I know it was always like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like,
my dad asked.
How the hell am I supposed to know? And then they would say do you like the home? I can't remember, are you being hit?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That's hard for you to answer because you don't besides obviously, are you being hit? But like, at your age, you still don't understand what's really going on.
No, you don't really know what the hell's going on. You just have all these, like, it was so annoying because all the time, you just have all these people come up and ask you questions and interview you and all this and that. I'm like, I don't even know who the hell you are. I never even met you a day in my life. And it would be intimidating because it would be intimidating because they come and they'd be all dressed up in their, like, fancy clothes and all that. I'm like, what the hell is this? Is this a lawyer or something? Like, what the hell is going on? And I'd be in my pajamas and stuff. I'm like, what?
Well, go ahead, Sean. What were you saying?
So when you went through this, when you were going through the court system part, for making decisions, did you ever see that? I'm sure maybe now you do, but did you ever see that during that time as like, okay, this is definitely gonna be a lot better than when I just left?
Oh, for sure. My fear. Because my biggest fear was my dad, and after that, I was like, that person's gone. Like, I don't have to be scared no more. I don't have to be scared of getting hit anymore. But I did have a lot of anger with me. Yeah. I noticed because I don't know. When he left, I was just mad at the world. That's when I really became angry. And that's when that happened. And
did they force you to have a?
We had a house and everything. We had a house, dog, and all that was taken. Like,
yeah, I mean, did they force you to see like the only reason I'm asking this because my girl does like mental health counseling for trouble. Did you have a therapist or like you had to go through therapy?
Yeah, well, we didn't have that yet, but we had something called a mentor. So that means like you have like some guy that comes and picks you up and takes you to like Burger King or McDonald's or to the library.
It's like a big brother, big sister.
Yeah, kind of mentor. Okay. You just play with them and talk to them about stuff.
Do you keep in touch with them at all or no?
No, dude, I've had so many people in and out of my life. It's insane. Like,
so does that make you feel like it's hard to does that make it feel like it's hard to like trust people because you've had so many like not necessarily letdowns, but like, traumatic events to where, people come in for a second. Hey, are you okay? Then you never see them again. Hey, are you okay? And then leave again. And no one's really like stuck around.
No. And it doesn't say that I don't trust people because what it did is just, it makes me very independent to where I don't ask nobody for stuff.
Right.
And to where you won't hear from me for a long time. So like,
how does that help with your lasting relationships now though? Like, do you have lasting relationships that you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I worked on myself a lot. As I got older, I did counseling, and because I was always wondering, like, because I was always like quiet person. Well, not quiet all the time, but I didn't really make a lot of friends because I didn't trust people at the time. Because when I was in one of the foster homes, one of the kids had set us up when we got robbed. And, I had got a gun held in my head. And they took everything that I owned. I only had 2 pairs of pants after that, like 1 pair of shoes and all that. And I didn't trust nobody after that. I didn't go to no games, nobody's house, nothing. I just stayed to myself all the time. And, I had to work with therapy. I had to get over that fear of like other people because I didn't trust nobody after that. And then all the time you hear on the news, especially living in like by Chicago, this person shot and killed this person, and I didn't trust people.
Did that ever like, because I mean, I didn't grow up in like no super troubled area, but I know how it can be. I know how it is. But was that ever presented to you, like maybe some type of gang or like, because you're always looking for a group of
Yeah, because I grew up in like I've been to 13 different foster homes, 3 homeless shelters, and a jail facility for 2 years.
How is that though? Like with the whole foster, because like, is it?
So what it is it's basically like this is how it works. They find a family that lives in, like, I was living in Rockford. They find a family. Okay, this person's available. Take your stuff, get dropped off. You've never met them before, never spoken to them.
So how do they even know if you're even a good fit for this family, or like,
that's the thing. That's how it works. Because you get dropped off, you live with them, and then if they don't want you no more, they just put in their 2-week notice and you're gone. You just leave the house.
So is this it's like rent a kid?
That's exactly how it is. And that's what made me not trust people, because one minute I would be living in a home, and it got to the point where I would legit leave my clothes in my trash bags. I couldn't even afford suitcases. I would just have trash bags, all my stuff. And it got so bad to the point where I would just leave my clothes in trash bags, because the minute you did something wrong that they didn't like, you would be gone. Like this one lady, she got mad at me because whenever I finished eating, I forgot to push in the chair all the way. And she got so sick of that to the point where she called my caseworker and threatened to have me kicked out while I was at school. And that I was always the type of person to be nervous, because you never know. One day you could be at school, and that's what happened to me. One day, it was my senior year, 2019, and the first basketball game of the year was coming up, and I come home from school, and I'm having fun. I'm getting ready to play the first game. I'm ready, been doing practices and all this, and I've been working my ass off for this. And then I come home, and my caseworker is there, and she tells me, "You're not going to be living here no more." And I said, "Like, for what?" And I start crying, because it's like, this is my senior year basketball last year.
Right. You don't need that going on right now.
And she says, because your foster parents getting surgery on her hand. I says, what the hell does that have to do with me? I'm 18 years old. I can take care of myself. And after that, that's what happened, and I had to leave.
Do you keep in contact with any? Did any of the families? No.
Hell no. I don't want nothing to do with them. I'm good.
Was there at least any like family that like stood out better than the rest?
So I had 4 aunts and 3 uncles and grandparents. None of them wanted to take me in.
Damn, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I would legit.
Are you sure? Are you sure that it's none of them wanting to take you in, or was it just something that happened behind the scenes that you have no idea about?
So what happened was, after me and my older sister got kicked out of my aunt and uncle's house, the rest of the family like turned their back on us. Like, they're like, "No, you already messed it up. Like, we don't want you."
Really?
And the messed up part about it is they would have family get-togethers, and they would still invite me, and I'm like. And it really messed me up, because it's like, okay, none of you guys want to take me in, and you have me living in a foster home, but you always want to invite me to these family get-togethers. And I remember I'd be there, and I'd be asking like, "Hey, can you take me in? Hey, if you take me in, I won't bother you," nothing like that. Just being desperate to get out of these foster homes. And then one point, my grandma had called me out. She said, "Stop asking us to take you in. We don't want to." And
damn, are you sure you related to these people? Like,
well, as I got older, I found out, like, I started seeing like, okay, like behind the scenes stuff. Like, me and my sister are only African American people in a full white family, And they hated the fact that my dad had kids with a black woman and the fact that she was Muslim.
Wait. I thought your dad was white this whole time. I mean, black this whole time.
No, my dad was white. My mom was black.
Oh, shit.
And they hated that. And, you know, like, so as I got older, I started catching on to that stuff. And I, you know, when you hear about the police shootings and stuff, you start paying attention to what side they're taking. And, you know, I remember being a little kid, they're saying, well, it's Trayvon Martin's fault. He shouldn't have been doing this. It's Mike Brown's fault. He shouldn't have been resisting arrest and all that. And you start listening and hearing that. And then you start putting the two and two together. And it's like, we're the only two half black people in an all white family. And I remember my sister had actually seen letters that my grandparents had wrote to my dad while he's in the Marine saying that my mom has AIDS and if you do this, we'll disown you and all this and that. Shit. And I'm like, damn. And
so basically you guys weren't even supposed to be born. That's what they like. Basically, that's how they're making it seem, you know, like it was some type of accident. That's kind of fucked up, you know. It
is. And
I mean, it's hard enough to deal with being, you know, in and out of foster homes and child abuse and the whole 9 yards. But then, like, you know, you always would think that relatives and cousins or whatever would be like, hey, you know, regardless of if, you know, his mom is this or his dad is that, you know, that's still our blood. Like we gotta take care of them. But you know,
and they all got homes. They all got nice homes. They all got good jobs.
And you know, I assume you probably don't talk to none of them.
No. And it's funny because I haven't spoken to any of them. And you know, they, you know, now that they see I got a book out and they see I'm doing well and making a little bit of noise, they now they like for a person who one of my
now they're reaching out to you.
Well, I haven't spoken to her in like 8 years. She liked all my stuff on like 4 or 5 posts on Instagram. And then another person I haven't spoken to in like 5 years, like my uncle I haven't spoken to, and he's liking my stuff. And I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with y'all. Like and they you know, they try to throw up that Christian bullshit. You're a Christian man, you're supposed to, and
God forgives, okay, I don't.
I forgive, but I forgive you from a distance. I'm not stupid. I'm not it's okay. You know, Nah, bro, like I'm not with all that. And
that's crazy, man.
And what really pissed me off was not only was I living in foster homes, I was living in the hood in some of these foster homes. Like there would be days where I come back and it's like the whole block is taped off with just police everywhere. And they would even tell me like, your neighborhood is not a safe area, so take me in, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Yeah.
You see, it's not a safe area. And then like living in shelter homes and facilities, a lot of those kids would come straight from jail to there. And you know, a lot of the shelter homes, a lot of kids were in gangs because, you know, I'm in Chicago.
Yeah, you need like that's what people understand. Like it's not like you want to be part of a, you know, you want to be considered a gangbanger. It's just that you know they're the only people. Yeah,
everybody wants that feeling of family, and they want that feeling of protection. And you know, thank God I was smart enough to not be in that. You know, but I was. You know, I'm not gonna say I was an innocent kid. Obviously, I was sent to a jail facility. You know.
So let me, so Devin, I don't want to cut you off, but like, let me ask you this. This is one of the questions that I just want to, you know, get out before I forget. But like, with all that happening, man, from pretty much birth until, you know, your teen years, like how does someone continuously like persevere? You know, how come you didn't fall off the deep end? Not saying I would want that, but like, you know, how did you continue to, I guess, be optimistic to the point to where like, you know, you can succeed regardless of, you know, no support or anything like that, write a book and, you know, and kind of just do a whole 180 with everything. Like, what was that drive?
I had that. Everybody was asking that. I don't know. It's God. It really is. Like it really comes from the fact of being doubted and not having anything. Like it just comes from always being doubted and never given a chance, never looked at. And, you know, like growing up, you know, I would see, there's this one basketball player named Fred VanVleet. He plays on the Raptors.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. And I would, and, you know, I would be inspired by him because I would be in like a facility and I'd be watching him in the NBA. I'm like, damn, that's cool. He went to the NBA. He's from the same city I'm from. And I would just be like, that would get me going. You know, Derrick Rose, seeing him come from Englewood to the NBA, and it was like, it sounds cliche, but it would legit be stories like that. People who I've never spoken to, never met, And that stuff would just inspire me. Like, wow, like if I work hard enough, like I can get out of all this. And it was the survival for me. Like it was always not having nothing, always having to survive.
Right.
You know, I was surviving off of fucking lunch meals and surviving off of 50-cent gas station snacks. Cause my foster parent, like my foster homes, they wouldn't even have food in the fridge. Like I would legit be surviving off of school lunches and food. And in some of these facilities, I remember I'd ask my teachers like, hey, can you please buy groceries for me? I'm really hungry and all this and that. And they would come buy groceries and all this stuff for me and I'd have it. And it always came from not having much and not having nothing. And that I always had a chip on my shoulder that, you know, I'm gonna outwork these people and and it was just a drive. And I can't really explain it, but it's just, I always had a chip on my shoulder. Like even to this day, I still wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and I do schoolwork and I work out, because I am writing the second book, just to get that out there. I've already written. You guys are the first to hear it.
Look, he about to have a whole showcase.
Yeah, I am writing the second one and I've already written 65 pages of it. And like, it just comes from like just being hungry, because I never was given a chance, always overlooked, always doubted, you know, coming from shelter homes and like I said, surviving off of school lunches and how couldn't even afford $1.50 to get on the city bus, walking outside with 3 coats on.
Yeah, well, trust me, I'm from the Midwest. I know that when they get cold, that shit is unforgivable.
And it just came from not having, like coming from nothing. And it just came from not having nothing. And that drive, like it really drove me every single day. Like,
so like, go ahead, Sean.
What was it? Okay, so to bring you down here to Tampa, all right, was it that one foster home you did in your senior year? Was that like the last straw? You're like, I'm just done. I'm ready to get out of this town, get out of the city, get out, just get away from everything. Or was there another instance after that caused something?
It was always, because like I said, I've been to 13 different foster homes, and what really made me snap was when one of these foster parents I was living with, we were outside and, you know, we were raking the leaves and stuff like that and doing yard work. And he had said something that really, he would say some hurtful things. Like he would, anytime he got mad at us, he'd say, that's why your family doesn't want you. That's why you're in foster care and all this stuff. And I think he said something like that. And I threw my rake down and I said, I'm not helping you no more. And what he did was he took the leaves, the rake, and he was raking the leaves, and he started like raking them and throwing them, like having the leaves, like raking the leaves on me, on my clothes and all that. And then he threw the rake at me. And you know, everybody wants to be the tough guy, and like, you're not gonna do this to me and stuff. And so I remember I had gotten in his face, and we were arguing in each other's face. And one of the foster kids had came and, you know, broke us up and everything. And I walked away to go inside. And as I walked away, he got in my way, and I shoulder bumped him, like literally just bumped shoulders with him. Mind you, this was like 300 pounds, a grown ass man. And what he did is he called the police on me. And he said he assaulted me by shoulder bumping him. And after that happened, I was arrested for that. And I was and I had to spend 2 days in jail. And, you know, I had to freaking get a mugshot. I had to get my, jumpsuit on, fingerprinted. And that stupid ass rock, because where I'm from is called Rockford Mugshots, and they post you on Facebook.
Oh shit!
So all my friends are seeing me on Facebook, and they're like clowning me on Facebook, like just making fun of me, laughing at me.
Free Devin.
And you're a minor at the time.
And I was just humiliated. And
you're a minor at the time. How the hell?
Well, I was 18.
Oh, so you was that's the worst when they got you right at 18, like
right at 18
at the start, at the finish line with handcuffs. Ah, damn.
Yeah. And after that happened, I just snapped. Like I was like, fuck all this. I'm gonna go ahead and be successful. And literally, like I just snapped. And I remember after that happened, I said I'm moving to Florida. And I'm a dumbass kid saying I'm moving to Florida, and I don't even know what the hell.
We all said it.
I'm out of here.
Why do you think we all here?
Fucking Mexico?
Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving. And you know, when you're in foster care and you're with the state system, it's not that easy. So I had to go to court. One, I had to go to court for that incident, And, you know, obviously there's no charges pressed, it was expunged.
But still, the whole point of having to go through that like ordeal.
Yeah, bro. Like, it made me upset, and it made me, it snapped me. Like, I was like, after that happened, I snapped, and I was just like, it really gave me the motivation and drive. And that happened, and you know, I got clean off that and everything. And then I had to see another judge to be able to leave the state of Illinois, because the state of Illinois is my guardian, legal guardian. And in order for me to leave, I have to get permission from him, from a judge. And I ended up being able to get permission by saying I want to go to school, get a better life and all that. And I was able to convince them. And I was able to move to Florida. And it was that incident that happened where I was arrested that really, I mean, it happened. Like, everybody's always known I've worked hard. Like, I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and jog 2 miles to get to the gym to work out. And like, it just, but when that happened, like me being arrested and that happened, it really drove me to be successful, like even more. Everything, like what I learned to do was what a lot of people can't do is everything negative that's ever happened to me, I've turned it in motivation to be successful. Because a lot of my friends who I grew up with and stuff, like some of them are dead, some of them are in jail, some of them are homeless on a corner somewhere. And, you know, like they were never able to do that. And, you know, they retaliate by trying to kill somebody, or, you know, they retaliate with just saying, I'm not going to do nothing with my life. And they just get depressed and use that as an excuse. And I always had a fear of that, because I watched, because like being like coming from these public house stuff and all these foster homes, like I was always scared of being homeless one day, because I've been homeless, and I was always scared of like that.
You don't want to be that guy. Yeah, I get what you mean.
So that's what always drove me every single day, every day.
Well,
I was like, I don't want to be homeless.
You know, that's I mean, shit, man, Devin, that's a hell of a story. It's good to hear it from, you know, like I said, from your perspective, because a lot of times, you know, we see in the news, on social media, or whatever it may be, like, you know, like these stories, but they're not really gone over as well as like you really don't know what's happening. You know, you
just see, like a real brief.
Yeah, they try to
exactly. And the fact that they bounce you around with, you know, different families, like it's just like, come on, like you gotta understand. Like, I mean, now the science and the knowledge behind like trauma and PTSD and child abuse and so on and so forth, it's more brought to the forefront, and we understand a lot more than we did, you know, 10, 20 years ago. But like, that's just crazy, man. Like, and then people wonder why, you know, kids grow up to be, you know, criminals, or, you know, like you said, are homeless or selling drugs or whatever, because they I mean, they don't got no other option. Yeah, like, I mean, what do you expect them to do?
Little to nothing.
So you're writing another book. You said you're you know, you've already started. What is book 2 supposed to be about? So
book 2 is going to be a fiction book. And this book, because I wrote a nonfiction autobiography, and now I want to write a fiction book. And this book is going to be about, you know, 2 kids who grow up in rough areas, and they're sent to this school that takes all those kids from rough areas and gives them a chance by sending them to this fancy, nice school downtown.
Or like the X-Men?
No, I would say, yeah, like Hogwarts and Harry Potter, or something like that. But like literally, like because, you know, when you go to your neighborhood public school, it's bad. Like, you know, you just fights every day. You don't have the stuff that you need to be. That's
you know what, Sean? That is very true. What he says. Well, no, not to that extreme. But I've been in private school. I've been in public school, and there's such a huge difference in like.
Oh yeah, it's a massive difference.
I've been in both. It's crazy.
I just wanted to go to private.
I was learning like the stuff I learned in private school. I remember the year later I went to a public school, so we had moved. They were teaching in the next grade stuff I learned like 2 years beforehand. And I was just like, wow, like I feel smart, but everybody else is years behind. So huge difference.
Yeah. And then like, if you like, for instance, my neighborhood schools were always bad in bad areas. So like,
well, at least you didn't grow up in North Carolina.
Like, there would be kids and like, having like find guns in kids' lockers and have the dog come to sniff out stuff. And, you know, like you don't always, and then like the learning material isn't as good. And, you know, you don't have all the tools to be successful. So,
right.
you know, what I did with this book is I had 2 kids coming from rough areas. And what I did was they had to test in to get into the school. And it takes all the kids from the rough areas who are able to test into these school. And they give them all transportation, and they transport them to this nice school downtown.
Okay.
And they're in the school, and they're able to, you know, get good learning, safe environment, you know, all this stuff. But then I also tell about the environment that they're in. Like one part in the story is the kid is talking to his mom at the table, mm-hmm. and a shooting happens right outside their front door. Mm-hmm. And another incident is the other kid, his brother was killed in gang violence, and his dad is an abusive alcoholic, and he's getting hit on by his dad. And so
it's fiction, but it's also like has a realism.
It's fiction, but it has real life true events.
Okay.
And what I'm
is there an age group you're like aiming for with this one?
Middle school, high school. Middle school is the lowest, but what I'm trying to do is be able to inspire kids who live in, you know, rough areas, to inspire them to pursue, whether that's my point of view is education, mm-hmm. and you know, keep inspire kids to, you know, whatever rough area that you're growing up in. If you stick to it, stay focused on that, you can be successful, which is true. I mean, if you look at all the stories of all these people, Derrick Rose, you know, like I said, Fred VanVleet, mm-hmm. you know, all these other people, they became successful off of
I mean, like as professional athletes, you know, depending on, it doesn't really matter what sport, but like, you know, they are in a sense, you know, mentors and people to look up to. Not all of them, but some are.
Most of them. Yeah.
So
and
I was gonna say, Devin, go ahead, Sean.
Also new Black billionaires as well. I mean,
that's true. That's very true. Saying. Devin, I have one more question. I'm Sean. If you have a question, just let me know as well. But
you're right.
Last question for you, Devin. I see you got the baby T-shirt on, and I see the tats. What do the tats mean?
So my tattoos are all religious tattoos. So I have Proverbs 3-6, Jeremiah 29:11. I have the I can do all things through Christ verse. I have the Holy Bible right here.
Okay, I like that.
Faith right here. Then I have the prayer hands right here. And then this eagle represents the eagle taking in all the information and soaring with it. Okay. And I still got to get that area worked on.
Okay.
Then, so this is the religious arm. I call this the religious arm. And then this one is the motivational arm. So this is a lion with only the strong survive on the back of it. Then this one is the Monopoly man with the bag of money that says hustle hard, which means work hard for everything that you want. And then this deck of hands says play the hand that you're dealt, which stands for, that's my situation. Whatever situation you're in, work hard and make it the best. And then this one is I shall fear no man but God. That's what I wanted. And then this one I just recently got done last week. This one is a biblical verse that says arrow of God.
Oh, that looks nice.
It has Ephesians 6-10 on the shield. And that one's a motivational / religious one too.
I like them. So
they're all religious.
So yeah, man, Devin, that was some great stuff. And we always like to end on a good note. So I'm gonna let my buddy here, Sean, kind of transition us into the next little segment here. Be prepared though. I'm letting you know that you had a great story, but I take no prisoners in this game we about to play. So I'm cutthroat. Go ahead, Sean. Explain it to him.
Well, hopefully you've seen the episode before. If not, you're about to be a part of it now. So we're gonna play What the Florida. It's basically 3 wild stories happening in Florida, and as you know, Florida's a wild, wild place. Yeah. So I'm gonna read 3 stories. You're in Serak. Gonna tell me where those stories happen at here in Florida, and you don't tell me the city. You just tell me north, center, or south. That's it. That's all you got to know.
North, central, or south?
Central, or south.
So like
North Florida, Central Florida, and South Florida. North Florida is going to be Jacksonville, Pensacola area. That's how that's.
Now he's new to Florida, so we'll give him a freebie.
Yeah, give me a little bit.
I'm gonna break it down for him. Central Florida is going to be your Ocala, Gainesville, Orlando, even here. Whatever. And now South Florida, everything below us. Everything below us. Pretty simple.
All right.
Even though he screwed it up for like 3 years.
So okay, so what do you consider Tampa to be?
So I consider Tampa to be it's not Central Florida and it's not South Florida and it's not North Florida. I consider it to be it's like its own little thing. It's like its own little thing.
No, you gotta pick one. I say it's Central.
I say Central then because North Florida is Tallahassee, Pensacola up there. South Florida is Miami all there.
See, how come everyone always here's my thing about that. Everyone always says Miami is South Florida. Miami's on the Atlantic coast. It's not has nothing
wait.
At all.
I have to wait. Let me change my answer. I'm gonna say Tampa is South because the University of South Florida is in Tampa.
Oh my God. You two are brothers. I swear to God, you two are brothers. Sean said that same exact thing. All right, I give up. Whatever. We're South Florida, I guess.
My wife agrees with him though, unfortunately.
I mean, it's called the University of South Florida, and it's in Tampa.
Thank you.
So it's not like it's
not the University of Central Florida is in Orlando.
Okay, well, it's not like New Mexico is the new state in the United States.
They could have called it the University of the Gulf of Mexico, and it could have. All
right, listen, fair enough. We're gonna have. I'm gonna get in contact with the mayor or whoever puts the city maps together, and we're gonna figure this out. But anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, let's get ready to the story. All right, so the first story is up. I'm gonna read all 3 stories first before you decide where the story happened at first.
Okay.
First story. Florida man takes locomotive for a joyride, causes damage to two $30,000 switches.
That's
train. I don't know how you do this, but train stolen, taken on a 10-mile joyride. A train was taken for a joyride, and the police are trying to find the person who was responsible. Police
said the train.
That's what I don't get. How do you steal a train? I don't know. I have no idea. Police and the company said someone started the train Saturday and then crashed it through a fence and ran it for about 10 miles, crossing several roads before putting it back to the yard. They actually took it back. The train does not have surveillance cameras, so investigators do not have any information yet about the suspect. They're asking anyone who knows who could be responsible to contact the police.
Well, I don't want to snitch on him if he took it back. You know what I mean? Like, all right, whatever. At least he brought it back. Okay.
That's story funny. 1.
So that's story 1. So we don't guess yet, but like start to think like, okay, who would do some shit like that?
Right.
Story 2. A Florida man accused of stealing an ambulance, getting it stuck in the mud. Yeah.
You can steal a lot of shit in Florida. Now, I'm starting to think that now. Like, you can steal a train, an ambulance.
Yeah.
A Florida man stole an ambulance from a hospital while first responders were assisting a patient, but got the vehicle stuck in sand and mud, according to the sheriff's office. Where it showed the county fire and emergency service ambulance was parked in the ambulance at the hospital on Sunday at 12:30, while paramedics were inside the hospital dropping off the patient.
Jesus.
When paramedics returned, they realized the ambulance had been stolen, and deputies said they determined 29-year-old Trey Cornwell of Weeki Wachee was behind the wheel.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy, you know where he's from doesn't mean you know the story.
That's true. Okay.
Cornwell was accused of driving a stolen ambulance about 8 miles away, where he got it stuck in sand and mud as he was driving toward a body of water. Records show Cornwell ditched the ambulance and ran away, only to be arrested nearby a short time later.
How did they get arrested so fast after the fact? Well, I guess they have a tracker on the ambulance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Once it got stuck, though, you got to run. I mean, come on.
I think it'd be more impressive if like someone stole an ambulance, like as they were like coming to pick somebody up, right? Like it's emergency happens, ambulance comes, then somebody takes the ambulance. They come out like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like what the hell? Yeah.
All right.
You gotta have some balls to do that.
All right.
Yeah, we're just
last
crazy.
Story, and of course, it wouldn't be Florida without a story like this. Masturbating Florida man tells police he was stressed and came to the Publix parking lot because he didn't want to masturbate at home and get caught.
What the hell? That's crazy.
A customer walking into a parking lot of a Publix store this week came upon a disturbing sight. A man was allegedly pleasuring himself in his SUV, police report said. The man, later identified by police as Cruz Humis, 22, was seen watching a pornographic video on his cell phone and masturbating in his SUV outside the store. on Monday, the report said. According to the report, he was in his SUV for about 15 minutes as customers and cars went by.
Yeah, but like,
charged him with 2 counts of exposure of sex organs.
Who's seeing that? Like, he's in an SUV. Like, you gotta like. They must have been watching like the cameras.
They must have literally like,
But it gets better. He told them he was stressed and came to the Publix parking lot because he didn't want to masturbate at home and get caught, the report said. He also told them that he does this in his car 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
That's disgusting. All right. So, so Devin, just to kind of recap, first story was the stolen train. Second was the stolen ambulance. And lastly was the dude beating off at the supermarket in the parking lot. I'm gonna let you go first.
On the second one, you might have had a little clue. I might have gave out, where plays happened.
Yeah.
Or it might have been a throw off.
So Dev, I'm gonna warn you, he does like tricky stuff like this. So technically they could be like all in the same place, in the same area.
In Central. They could all be in the North.
Okay.
That happens all the time, but it could happen.
So
so you want me to guess on number 1 or guess?
Yeah. You just guess all of them, doesn't matter. Number one.
Number 1, I'm gonna guess the stolen train. That doesn't sound like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say North Florida.
North Florida. What you got?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So then I'm gonna say, damn, where can you get away with stealing a train? Probably somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
I think I'm gonna say North. I'm gonna say North as well because I feel like a lot of people don't live up there, so you could probably like steal.
Yeah, like get a train.
Yeah, nobody's watching.
That's like more.
It actually happened in Central Florida. That week, Central Florida, and in Ocala.
What?
Area.
That's around here.
There's a big train station in Ocala. Huge train station in Ocala.
Oh shit! All right, 0 for 1. Okay, so number 2, the guys that stole the ambulance.
The stolen ambulance guy with a lightning bolt on the front of his face. That's his tattoo. Like
I'm definitely gonna say that's Tampa. That's gonna be Central Florida.
Damn.
We said South Florida, right? Tampa was South Florida.
No, Tampa Central.
It'll be Central for now.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say that's definitely Tampa because the Tampa Bay Lightning play here, so that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Well, shit. I mean, I gotta change my
answer. How many
answer.
hockey teams are there in Florida though?
I'm gonna say South.
I only know the Lightning.
Well, the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's the only lightning bolt I can think of because.
So if you're a hockey fan in Florida, you live in like Jacksonville or Miami, you're still gonna be a fan of the only hockey team in the entire state.
But no. Miami has the Hurricanes.
So there are 2 in the state.
Does Jacksonville have a hockey team?
No. There's the Tampa Bay Lightning and then there's the Florida Panthers. So there's 2.
That's a hockey team? I thought it was a baseball team.
Florida Panthers. Yeah, that's a hockey team.
I said Miami Hurricanes. That's a damn football team. All right. So I'm gonna go with Central too.
All right, Central. It actually happened in Central. We keep watching.
I knew it.
Yeah, it actually happened in Hernando County.
Hell yeah! All right, so 1 for 1. Okay,
1 for 1.
Tiebreaker right here.
But what Publix did this man decide to make his nice new Etsy store?
Man, that's a hard one. I'm kind of thinking of Miami because that heat, that Florida heat make you go crazy sometimes. That sounds like something like one of those Haitian people or something would do in Miami. And then, but then I'm thinking of North Florida, and that's where like the hillbilly people live. So I'm thinking like maybe somebody was just tired of being home and being in like living.
Remember, he said he do it 2 or 3 times a week.
I know,
man.
And getting away with it.
And you get away with it? I don't see that happening in Miami. I'm gonna have to say North Florida for that one.
North, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go South, man. I feel like, I kind of go with your description of the hotter it get, the crazier you get. And I feel like it gets the closer you get south, the hotter it gets. And I feel like,
but in the South, there's so many vibrant cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
but I also feel like in Miami, they'd arrest you for some shit like that. Like they'd be like, you know what? You're going to jail. That's disgusting. So I'm gonna stick with myself because honestly I want to be a tiebreaker. I
still love it how the whole time when you said the South, you always say Miami. There's a whole South part of Florida, but
I don't know what that is.
You call out.
I'm gonna go with North because North ain't been picked in this one yet. So I'm going with North.
I say South.
I gotta give it to him. He's actually 3 for 3 for the first time of this year. This year, he's 3 for 3.
Wow!
It actually happened in Coral Springs, in the Miami area.
What did I say? Hell yeah! What did I say? I knew some crazy down there.
Man,
I got the first one wrong. Remember? We get the first one wrong.
Oh, yeah, you did get the first one wrong. You did get
so
the first
two
one
for
wrong.
so
Yeah.
Either way, Devin, win or lose, we all winners in this game. As long as we're not from Florida originally, we all win technically. So we're good. Devin, man, I forgot to even ask, like, yeah, man, you did great, man. Let us know, like, book wise,
how we find
your plugs out there. How do people find you?
Yeah.
So you can go on Amazon. So you go on Amazon, or you can go on Google and just look up Devin Paladino, and then my book will pop right up. Or if you go on Amazon, look up Devin Paladino, and the book is called My Testimony. It'll pop up.
And what's your Instagram?
What's your IG and Facebook and all that good stuff? All that
So
stuff.
Facebook name is Devin Paladino. Instagram name is Devin Paladino _3.
Okay.
And it'll be a picture of me in a suit and tie, and it'll pop up. And in my Instagram, you go on my Instagram, and the link of the book will be right there. You go on my Facebook, and in one of my Facebook posts, the link will be right there to the book. But just go on Google, look me up. And then the book will show Devin Paladino, and it will show author, and then show books, and then it will be right there.
And we'll also put a link in the video in the description, and we'll give the proper shout outs as well. So, but yeah, man, thanks once again, man. I know we had to reschedule once or twice, but hey, man, that was a hell of a story, and we definitely want to thank you
back for your next book. Definitely have to be back for your next.
Yeah,
book.
I'm actually gonna work on that next book is actually I'm working on. I'm already 65 pages in so far. And I'm working on having that out by finished writing it by May, and I'm working on having it out by August / September. So, I won't be so lost of what I'm doing this time because I've already written one, so I know the steps. Now and I'm not writing 330 pages. I'm only writing 200.
Okay.
So I'm already almost halfway done. So
that's what's up, buddy. Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Sean, you got anything?
Let's see. Nope, not much. Just want to make sure that everyone knows, be out there, enjoy this beautiful weather.
I see you got that Broncos stuff behind you, man. I feel sorry.
My God. Don't get him started with all that nonsense behind him. He's a Manning fan.
This is
I'm a Broncos fan through and through. Painful.
This is a Green Bay Packers fan for life, man.
You a shit.
Yeah, my man. I'm saying how it goes.
My dude Aaron Rodgers has signed a football.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's it.
You got the wrong number 12 on there, man. You supposed to have the boy Brady. Touchdown.
Man, we don't say that around here. We don't say that.
See.
Hey, we in Championship City, baby. We in Championship City. Hey, that's all I got,
right.
Sean. Go ahead and
that's all you got.
Bring us out.
All right, that's all you got. All right, with that being said, this has been the Week Review with Sean Serak. I am Sean Torres,
and I'm your boy Serak the Mike. Peace out.
Thanks for listening.
All right, bro. Appreciate you guys.
All right.